Python things which are neither true nor false. I just found this. Which produces so A neither is, nor equals true nor false, but X is true in an if statement. Why? Update. Actually, I've just realized that this isn't as obscure as I thought. I get the same result for A equals 2, as well, though not for A equals 0 or A equals 1, which are considered equal to false and true respectively.
A is a one-member tuple, which evaluates to true. Is test identity of the object, therefore, you get false in all those tests. Equals test equality of the objects, therefore, you get false again. In if statement a underscore bool underscore, or underscore non-zero underscore, used to evaluate the object, for a non-empty tuple it should return true, therefore you get true. Hope that answers your question. Edit. The reason true and false are equal to 1 and 0 respectively is because bool type implemented as a subclass of int type.
I find almost all the explanations here unhelpful, so here is another try. The confusion here is based on that testing with is, equals, and if are three different things. Is test identity, that is, if it's the same object. That is obviously not true in this case. Equals tests value equality, and obviously the only built-in objects with the values of true and false are the object true and false, with the exception of the numbers 0 and 1 of any numeric type. And here comes the important part. If tests on boolean values, that means that whatever expression you give it, it will be converted to either true or false. You can make the same with bool. And bool, none, will return true. The things that will evaluate to false is listed in the docs, linked to by others here. Now maybe this is only more clear in my head, but at least I tried. Smile.
TL, Doctor. If and equals are completely different operations. The if checks the truth value of a variable while equals compares two variables. Is also compares two variables, but it compares if both reference the same object. So it makes no sense to compare a variable with true, false or none to check its truth value. What happens when if is used on a variable? In Python a check like if implicitly gets the bool of the argument. So, O will be, under the hood, executed like. Note that you should never use the latter in your code because it's considered less Pythonic and it's slower, because Python then uses two bools, bool something. Always use the if something. If you're interested in how it's evaluated by Python 3.6. Note that Python doesn't exactly use hash here. It does check if the type of X implements the method, but without going through the underscore get attribute underscore method, hash would use that. In Python 2 the method was called underscore non-zero underscore and not underscore bool underscore. What happens when variables are compared using equals? The equals will check for equality, often also called value equality. However, this equality check doesn't coerce the operands, unlike in other programming languages. The value equality in Python is explicitly implemented. So you can do However, equals equals will default to reference comparison, is, if the comparison isn't implemented by either operand. That's why. Because tuple doesn't support equality with int and vice versa. Note that even comparing lists to tuples is unsupported. Just in case you're interested, this is how Python 3.6 implements equality. The orange arrows indicate if an operation returned the not implemented constant. That's only roughly correct because Python also checks if the type of value 1 or value 2 implements _eq_, without going through the _getAttribute_ method, before it's called, if it exists, or skipped, if it doesn't exist. Note that the behavior in Python 2 was significantly more lengthy, at least if the methods return not implemented, and Python 2 also supported _cmp_. What happens when variables are compared using is? Is generally referred to as reference equality comparison operator. It only returns true if both variables refer to exactly the same object. In general, variables that hold the same value can nevertheless refer to different objects. Note that Python uses cached values, so sometimes variables that should be different instances are actually the same instance. That's why I didn't use 500 as 500, literals with the same value in the same line are always equal, and why I couldn't use 1 as example, because Python reuses the values -5 to 256. But back to your comparisons, is compares references. That means it's not enough if both operands have the same type and value, but they have to be the same reference. Given that they didn't even have the same type, you're comparing tuple with bool and non-type objects, it's impossible that is would return true. Note that true, false and none, and also not implemented and ellipsis, are constants and singletons in Python. That's not just an optimization in these cases.
Things in Python don't have to be one of true or false. When they're used as a text expression for if/while loops, they're converted to booleans. You can't use is or equals equals to test what they evaluate to. You use bool thing. Also note,
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.